Welcome to the voicemail show.
What's the voicemail show, Smitty? What is this thing you're talking about?
Smitty, what are your thoughts on Justin Herbert for the rest of the season? I don't know, I'm getting a weird vibe out of the Chargers right now. It just doesn't seem like anything's really clicking for them. What do you think about Justin Herbert rest of the year?
We're answering that and more. The Fantasy Football Show. It begins right now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
The voicemail show, welcome to it. You're here. We're doing it. We're not doing it live. This one's not live. We might live premiere this, but I'm live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Usually we do the voice messages on the 7 p.m. show. I'm also live whenever news breaks, but you knew that. We've got an overflow of voicemails, and if you want to leave voicemails for me, DM me on Instagram, the word voicemail, put it in all capital letters so I notice it, and then after that, write me, hey Smitty, throw me in the voicemail group. I'll throw you in a group. You can leave voicemails and I'll answer them on the regular. So be a part of the voicemail group. It's where the cool kids are. Speaking of cool kids, Jim just dropped this message you just heard, which was about...
Smitty, what are your thoughts on Justin Herbert for the rest of the season?
Now, I don't need to play the whole message. You already heard it. In a nutshell, I don't know. No one knows what's going on with Herbert. Herbert used to be the GOAT, and he'd punch you in the throat.
Herbert is the GOAT.
But I don't.
Herbert is the GOAT. He'll punch you in the throat.
He's still GOAT potential, guys. Don't think he can't bounce back from this. He got injured. He's been playing hurt. Keenan Allen's been out. You take Diggs off of the Buffalo Bills, and you're going to have... I'm not saying Diggs is not better than Keenan Allen. He's much better than Keenan Allen. But you take Diggs off the Buffalo Bills, and it would throw off Josh Allen, especially if he was injured and he couldn't throw his... he's not comfortable throwing the football. Herbert can't be comfortable throwing the football. He's got a much-needed bye week. He's going into the bye week, and he should rebound out of the bye, in my opinion. Keenan Allen should be back as well. And I think we'll see the Herbert of old. And this guy finishes the number 2 quarterback in fantasy football last year. We're not wrong about him. We didn't miscalculate Herbert. I'd rather have Joe Burrow clearly over him. I'd rather have Josh Allen. I'd rather have Lamar. There are a handful of quarterbacks you'd rather have than Herbert right now, but there's a buying opportunity for Herbert because if you have Lamar, let's say you have Lamar, your team is not winning. You're fighting for third place, let alone second place. You have no shot at being the top team in your league. What do you do? What do you do? Sit on your hands? I'm just going to sit on my hands all year and watch Lamar get me third place. What are you going to do? You make a trade. Sometimes you have to do what we call in the show is dividing and conquering. Divide and conquer. You take one player, divide him into 2, and then go conquer your league mates. And if you do it right, if you do it with logic, you do it with purpose, you do it with a buy low, sell high mentality, and you get, let's say you take, example, taking it to the board, if we are to trade a guy like Lamar away for one player, can we get some lights on in here? And we trade him away for 2 players. What 2 players make sense? Let's move that over so that you can see. We'll throw Herbs in there. So you're trading him for Herbert and then an additional piece. Now, Herbert is a significant downgrade on paper. We're assuming coming out of the bye week, he's going to get back to form. That's what you're banking on. Or why would you make this trade? Or he's going to at least increase where he's from now. Maybe he's still below Lamar, but you're going to be so excited with what you get coming off the bye. It's going to be not that big of a downgrade. So what are you getting here? Are you getting an A.J. Brown who's already had a bye? Are you lucky and the person that has ETN doesn't understand what he has and you can get that? Maybe you got to trade a Hurts to get this done. Hurts coming off his bye, you're trading Hurts for Herbert and ETN. Or maybe you had to trade a Josh Allen to get this done. Josh Allen for ETN and Herbert. These are the decisions you got to make when you're in a bind and you're a fantasy owner and you're not sure what to do. You don't know where to turn. You can't win, but you do have to divide and conquer. And that's how it goes. So my answer to you, kind Sir Jim a lot, will be this. It will be, I think he does well. I think he's top 5 to 7. I don't know that I want to put him in the top 4 category because there's Mahomes, there's Josh Allen, there's Joe Burrow, Lamar. I don't know that he's knocking any of those guys out. Those guys can't be knocked out very easily. But could he score? And Hurts is obviously going to be above him. Could he score right below Hurts, Mahomes, Lamar, and Josh Allen and Burrow? That would put him at number 6 above Kyler, Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, all those guys. Yeah. So Herbert is my number 6 QB going forward. And that's pretty darn good. That's a pretty darn good quarterback to replace your absolute monster stud quarterback, Josh Allen, if you're getting a potential top 10 running back, top 5 to 10 running back in this guy, Travis Etienne. There you go, Jim. Appreciate you.
Hey, Smitty, I'm in a 12-team full PPR league, and I have some good starting running backs, so I'm not looking for a spot starter this week. I currently have Pacheco on my bench, but guys like Gus Edwards and Alexander Madison are on waivers. Do I pick up either of those two and drop Pacheco, or do I hold Pacheco for now?
That's a great question. Pacheco is a tough player to rank right now, and I think a lot of people are going to freak out about him and say, he didn't do what we thought he was going to do in week number 7, so I'm cutting him. And you're not crazy to if you've got to pick up Gus Edwards in your lineup or your benches are tiny and you got to make this move. I don't blame you. But I think at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, will this be a league winner in 3 weeks from now? He's not going to win you a league until the door opens fully. We thought it opened on Sunday. We had good information across the fantasy industry. It wasn't just information that came into us. We heard it everywhere that he was starting and it was time to shove him out there. And he didn't do much. Game script kind of got in the way. But the moment he is unlocked, he looks really good. He looks efficient. He runs hard. They love him. Mahomes loves him. Once he is in there as the full-time guy, which I believe will happen, he can win you a league. Rashad White can win you a league. Pacheco can win you a league. I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you to hold him and not pick up a guy that can help you now, but I can tell you that he could be that guy everybody's racing to the waiver wire for. Rashad White, Khalil Herbert, Isaiah Pacheco are my 3 players left that feel rags to riches. Rags meaning they're not going to impress you right now. Anybody expecting the world from Pacheco, you're in the same mindset a person had about Etienne in week 1, 2, Walker in week 1, 2, 3, Breece Hall in weeks 1 and 2. I'm not saying Pacheco's those guys. I'm saying Pacheco has the same kind of feel of, I'm impatient and I'm just going to get rid of him. That's how people are treating Pacheco, and you need to reset your mind on that. You can't judge him for having a bad game script that he can't control and assume he can't rise up. Same thing with Herbert, and especially the same thing with Rashad White, because let me tell you something. I'm going to put Rashad White's name on here so we can focus on it. Rashad White has so much league-winning ability and potential if he gets into the lineup to start, which will require a Fournette injury for him to get full volume. But if he gets in there to start, it's top 10 PPR running back production, and this guy's going to help people win leagues down the stretch. We are only entering week number 8. We have a lot of time left. This could happen in week 14. It could happen in week 12. It could happen. It could never happen. And that's why you got to reset your mind and go, he's a stash. Stop having this high expectation where I want to cut him when he's not delivering, because that's unfair to Rashad White as you hold him expecting the world.
Van Jefferson is designated to return from injury reserve. What do you think about him long term? Do you like him more than Moody?
Who?
Van Jefferson is designated to return from injury reserve.
Van Jefferson. I thought he said man. Jefferson's returning from. He's talking about Van Jefferson. You know what? So much off of my radar right now that I couldn't even. I did like trying to figure out what you were saying. Like I didn't go, oh yeah, put it together. Van. Waiting on the Van information. Out of sight, out of mind. Look, maybe he's relevant. I'm not writing him off, but until I see him back and healthy and doing things, I'm not worried about Van. Lance.
If Kareem Hunt gets traded, wow, that would really be awesome. He deserves another shot at being a starting running back. Can't stay in Chubb's shadow all the time.
Yeah, that's a great topic. I'm glad you brought that up. Who was that? I think it was Lance. Lance, I appreciate that one. Hunt. What happens to Hunt? Where could he go? KC. You like how I put him in red? I didn't even. I was gonna put him in the Browns brown color. I immediately put him in red. Prophecy? Is this video from the future? I'm from the future. Calm down, relax. Don't sit down so you don't faint. Kareem Hunt got traded. No, he didn't yet. Could he get traded to the Kansas City Chiefs and reunite over in that running back room, take it over and explode? I just got done talking about Pacheco. You need to separate Pacheco and Hunt in this situation. You can't let one situation biasly affect your analysis on another. That's what makes what I do so interesting, is most people can't do that. I've done this for over 20 years professionally, played fantasy football much longer than 20 years. And back in the day, I would have a tough time. I'd be so gung-ho on Pacheco, right? I'm talking him up, that I'd shut this news down. I'd be biasly against this. This isn't going to happen. Why would they trade him? I'd come up with excuses. That's not going to happen with your boy Smitty. I'm able to look at this thing from far above. Part of what helps me and can help you do that too is to play in a lot of leagues. You're not gonna go in panic mode, trying to get ETN and giving up the farm for him because you don't want to be the guy that missed out. You didn't listen to me. You didn't take ETN. You didn't trade for him while he was cheap. You didn't draft him like I said, or you took him in the 3rd round. You cut him, or you traded him because you weren't patient, like I said, to be patient. And then you go sell the farm for ETN when it's too late to trade for him in a lot of cases, or the same thing for Kenneth Walker. When you do a lot of leagues, you have shares of everybody that you liked because you didn't miss out on this. You know, different draft slots, you were able to capitalize on some of your sleepers. In some draft, you balance the scales a little bit differently. You're able to look at this objectively. Hunt or Pacheco, whoever's in there is going to be good. Kareem Hunt has a decent chance of being traded. I would say Buffalo. I would say KC. Could be locations. While we're at it, I wouldn't be shocked, just so you know. I was talking on Instagram about this. Brandon Cooks, just off topic, I could see him getting traded to the Green Bay Packers. I could see Brandon Cooks in Green Bay. I think that could happen. The trade deadline's next week, early next week. I believe Tuesday. So I could see Kareem Hunt and KC. I could see Brandon Cooks in Green Bay. I think we get like 2 trades at least by the trade deadline. Maybe not. Maybe we're disappointed. But Hunt in Buffalo, Hunt in I would say KC. There are a few other potential landing spots I can fathom, I suppose. I don't think Philly is going to get. They could, but Sanders is playing too well for that to be a situation I see playing out. The Jets, I could see the Jets looking at it still. I think Buffalo would be smart to make this move. The Rams. So my 3 landing spots would be LA, KC, and Buffalo, with KC being the most likely if I had to just throw out a prediction. Now, it's a prediction. It's not a lock. I don't have any insider information on it. Michael.
Hey, Smitty, how much trade value does DK have, even though he's hurt right now? I was thinking about trading him and B-Rob for maybe a better wide receiver.
DK Metcalf, great question. Sadly, I don't think DK's got a lot of trade value at all right now, because he was kind of like a little bit hard to trust even going into the injury. Like, you didn't really know if you're going to get the 100-yard DK or would Geno. Are you still having trust issues with Geno? And I wouldn't blame you, because like everybody is. We all do. You'd be crazy not to still wonder, you know. And DK hasn't been fed consistently, but he's had that big game we've seen him have, and we're like, okay, he can still have a big game under Geno. I like him a lot. I'd probably buy him low because of what I'm saying. People were already worried enough about buying him. Now he's out and injured. People can't afford that, man. With the turmoil, all the injuries happening, the bye week city coming up, where it's just bye week, you know, after bye week, just tons of players going out. I don't think anybody's trading for DK Metcalf. I think it's trade season. It's go get DK Metcalf. And what do you give up? I don't know. Third wide receiver value for a guy that could be your high-end wide receiver too. Guys that are doing really, really well that you don't think will probably stay doing very, very well. So, yeah, I wish I could tell you he'd be easy to trade if you have him, but he's not going to be.
Hey, Smitty, I'm thinking about a backup quarterback for when Burrow goes on bye here in a few weeks. I got a chance to grab Daniel Jones. Do you think he'll still be pretty good by that time? He's going against the Texans at Week 10.
So, Danny Dimes, Texans. Yeah, I mean, look, the Giants look exciting. And they're able to move the ball. He runs a lot. He's able to get you like some yardage on the ground, maybe a potential rushing touchdown. So like you're kind of protected into like a decent day. Does he have like elite upside? Not always. He could have a game where he drop, top 7 to 10 quarterback numbers. It could easily happen. But is it going to happen frequently? Probably not. Is this a game that it could happen? Yeah. Say more likely than not he'll have a better game than a bad game. Will it be a great game? I don't know. Is it a great replacement play? Absolutely. Ellinger. I like Ellinger. He's a good pickup. I think about Deshaun Watson. Even though there's potential new news about him every day, there might be another potential situation where a text message got leaked, but it doesn't. I don't know. It's like one-sided. There's just the messages from the individual making the accusations, and there's nothing on the other side of there's a lot going on. We're not sure what's what on that, but bottom line is Watson's still a risk, but he's a free risk out there in a lot of leagues where he's on waivers. And if you wait until week 10 or week 9, people are start thinking about it. A lot of people can't hold somebody that's out that long. Maybe you can't either. You got to make that determination for yourself. But he's a great go get and hold if you're doing this now versus waiting to the last minute when everybody's rushing. Okay, he's coming back next week. I'm going to take him in week 10. Get him now if you need a quarterback. And I know you're not in desperate need of a quarterback, but I'm trying to address that for people who are actually going after Danny Dimes as a full-time starter and they're not as fortunate as you. But yeah, he's an okay play for sure, bro. I don't mind that move at all. Avi.
Should I give up Debo and Mike Evans for Zeke, Dalvin Cook, and Chris Godwin?
That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Let me actually grab Avi's trade and put it on screen. I don't even know how to begin analyzing this one, to be honest with you. I don't trust Dalvin Cook. I also don't trust Debo Samuel. I don't know who I trust more. I don't know which side of this is going to actually end up being the better side, to be completely frank. I think I probably lean on the Debo Evans side initially. I think these grades were, what is this, Yahoo? These grades are a little high. Avi, charge your phone for goodness sakes, 5%. Dalvin Cook is the best player in the deal currently on paper. And he's probably the most valuable player in a trade because he's an RB. And even if he has equivalent or close to, even a little bit below Debo's value, being an RB, all the injuries, it's a good move to get like Cook if you had Debo and you needed an RB. It's also not a bad move to trade Cook for Debo if you needed a wide receiver. So like you could almost take those two out, even though I'm not saying one's better than the other, but if we simplify this and take Cook and Debo out, we've got Godwin and Elliott versus Mike Evans. And as much as some like Godwin, and obviously they play on the same team, I value Evans more than I value Godwin. Elliott doesn't really move the needle for me. At the end of the day, I think the Debo and Evans side has more value. At the end of the day, I'm not happy with either side because I doubt Debo. Look, I don't know what it is that worries me, but I'm worried about injury. I think Avi's phone probably died already. He probably can't even watch this video because he's at 1%. I worry about injury for Debo. I worry about usage. I worry about his running getting taken away, which could maybe keep him more healthy. But the fact that CMC's in town to take volume and important touches away from him, I just don't see him surviving the same. So I'm going to tell you this in a way that's going to be like, it's not going to satisfy you. I don't like either side. I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't great values on this board here. I like Evans, but I would want the Debo Evans side, and then I would trade Debo for probably what I think I could get this entire type of package back for just Debo in return. I feel like I could go out there and get the version of Cook that I want, a much safer player. I go get ETN using Debo. Like, I'd rather have ETN and Mike Evans over this package up top, Godwin, Cook, and Elliott. So my final answer, Avi, is I don't really approve it. I just like the value of the Debo Evans side, and then I ship Debo away before he gets injured or he disappoints and doesn't have the volume, because CMC's there taking important touches away. Kyle Shanahan, I don't trust at all. I think he'll get Debo hurt. I think he'll probably try and utilize him in a weird way that's going to confuse everybody and upset everybody. And he's just a disappointing coach right now. I want nothing to do with it. But I also want nothing to do with Cook, because that offense is not built for him. This is the Rams version of an offense that's geared toward the wide receiver. That's why JJ is going to have a baller year from here on out. I go ahead and take Debo Samuel and Evans, final answer, and then I trade Debo as fast as I can. Thank you, Avi, for your message. Thank you for watching the Fantasy Football Show. I'm your host, Smitty. This is the voicemail segment. And if you want to be a part of the voicemail show, or when I do this during the Monday through Friday show, which you can always find here on the YouTube channel, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, or I'm live whenever news breaks. I'm also live at midnight on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, and Fridays, and Saturdays. I'm live all the time. But if you want to be a part of this, go to Instagram. Make sure you're following me, number one. And you DM me the word voicemail in capital letters, and then just say, hey, Smitty, put me in the voicemail group, yo. And I will put you in the voicemail group, and then we'll do this. I'll be able to help you. Appreciate you all. Now get out of here. Oh, before you get out of here, don't forget to get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. Get your one-on-one text advice. I've got one-on-one text advice. Your boy Smitty has one-on-one on-demand text advice that you can get your hands on if you want. And also, make sure you get on over to Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code Smitty. They'll match up to $100 on your first deposit. Get out there and play Underdog Fantasy. Your season doesn't have to be over. I'm not saying some of your seasons are over, but if you feel like they're in turmoil and you're just upset and you want a fresh start of some kind, create a week 8 only fantasy football team. DFS. Go walk into a week 8 contest, drop a prop, do the rival contest that they have where you pick 5 like over-unders, and you can pick between players where you're like, 2 players are facing each other in a game, and you're like, who's going to have more rushing yards? That guy. Who's going to have more passing yards? That guy. And you pick 5 right, it's a 20 times multiplier. It's fantastic. Go to Underdog Fantasy, link in the description, promo code Smitty. Now, get out of here.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Take a lap.